ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Azeroth Daily for the 14th of December 2010. My name is TotalBiscuit, bringing you your daily dose of WoW news and comment. An important news flash, folks. One of the latest scams making the rounds is this one, referencing the recent hacker attacks on the Gorka Media Group. This has got nothing to do with Blizzard, folks, and Blizzard is not sending this email right here out. If you get anything that looks like this, please delete it immediately. And remember, Blizzard will, 1, never ask you for your password, and 2, you should always check the links before clicking anything. Hover over them, right-click, click properties, do something, but don't click random links that you get in emails like this without thoroughly checking them first. In the news today, folks, yes, PvP Season 9 has finally begun. Or at least it will do tomorrow. It depends when you're viewing this. I know I've been a little bit late today with this because of all the rig building and the stuff that's been going on IRL. My apologies for that. But yes, PvP Season 9 is kicking off, and it allows you for the first time to gain the high-end PvP gear from doing so-called rated battlegrounds, which you do in a pre-made team. So you can earn these points from both arenas and these ranked battlegrounds. You can put them towards getting some nice, delicious gear. If you want to check out what the gear looks like, I would strongly suggest you head over to MMO Champion. They have a nice full display of all of the armor sets available, and a link is in the description below this video. There's also a new mode out that you can try. It's called the War Games or Skirmish mode, and Blizzard has posted a full FAQ on this, and essentially it's a pre-arranged friendly match between two teams in either an arena or in a battleground of your choice. Go check it out, links in the description below, and there is an awful lot of info on just how these work and how to set them up yourself. Personally, I think that's a great idea. It's absolutely fantastic to be able to challenge another guild to a grudge match or whatever. Sounds brilliant, and I'm looking forward to giving that a try. I'm thinking some inter-guild warfare with trollface.jpg might be a cool idea. Those of you who think that Archaeology's a bit too much of a grind might be happy to know that reports are coming in regarding the number of fragments you can gain from a site. Usually it was only 3, but now apparently it can be between 3 and 6 per site. There's no official Blizzard confirmation of this yet, but an awful lot of people are saying that this is the case, so I would assume that we're going to get a blue confirmation on this at some point tomorrow. So go digging, folks. Yes, indeed. Go find some useless garbage. And if it surprises you, it probably shouldn't. WoW Cataclysm has become the fastest-selling PC game of all time, selling over 3.3 million copies across the world in 24 hours. That's a lot of copies, although I must say I'm very, very surprised that, what would that be, only about 25% of the player base actually picked up the game. Bear in mind, of course, though, a significant chunk of the player base is in China, and they've only just got Wrath, so they're a little behind. And with that, it's time for your Daily Blues. As posted by an anonymous blue poster over on the EU forums, we got 4 pieces of concept art that have been released in the Blizzard Art Gallery. You can check them out in the background right there, or you can go and have a look at the full resolution by clicking the link below this video. They consist of I suppose that's a bristleback of some description. Looks like a really, really angry troll pig. We've also got a Naga who's looking decidedly sly. A giant ape thing with horns. God knows what that is. And also Velociraptor. It seems that Kiri's a little bit upset about being constantly captured by everyone and everything in Cataclysm. She is complaining that her character is too much of a damsel in distress and keeps on getting captured and apparently is just a little bit useless. Bashiok responds with an interesting point, I believe, about the way to tell a particular narrative and drive a story by making a hero face challenges and indeed grave and perilous situations. Couldn't agree more with that, and indeed the questing, in my opinion, has benefited an awful lot from it. Speaking of storytelling, Wyoto is extremely upset about the number of cutscenes in the expansion. I couldn't disagree with him more, and would point out to the fact that you can skip cutscenes simply by hitting escape, so it's not like you're actually forced to watch them. Bashiok responds with, I actually have no idea what that is, but yeah. And with that, it's time for your daily grind. Those of you who haven't rolled a goblin yet might want to consider it for this particular quest that kicks off very early on in the Lost Isles. It's called Weed Whacker, and it involves using a goblin weed whacker, which of course was stored in your utility belt, as you might imagine. Every goblin needs one, and it involves spinning around, slaughtering large amounts of plant life. It's also a rather nice example of a simple but effective form of phasing, which is tragically lacking from Stone Talon Mountains. Yes, I'm not going to let Blizzard go over that. They need to do that now. And your weekly feature for Tuesday, folks, is Raid or Die. Raid or Die is the part of the show where every week we have a look at the current rankings, see which boss is causing people trouble, who is ahead, and indeed have a look at some interesting statistics. If you're not a fan of statistics, you might want to skip forward to the mailbox. However, in the meantime, enjoy. Congratulations have to go out to Exorsus, who get the world first on Nefarian 10-man. They're actually a Russian guild, so congratulations to them. They managed to do it slightly before Paragon. Now, Paragon also managed to kill Nefarian 10-man. It turned out at around the time this was done, 25-man mode was having some weird-ass respawn bug. That's now been fixed, and Insidia followed up today with a kill of the 25-man mode boss, which I believe was probably the world first of that particular one. However, bear in mind that 10 and 25-man modes are now supposed to be pretty similar in terms of difficulty, so one is certainly not more superior than the other. In terms of American guilds, the top US guild, currently ranked number 4 in the world, is on the BlackRock server. They go by the name of Adept, closely followed by Premonition from Senjin. Now, if you'd like to know what's been killed so far, then the most popular and indeed most killed boss so far has been the Omnitron defense system, with 1,123 guilds killing it successfully. That's closely followed by Harfus Wormbreaker, which is the first boss of Bastion of Twilight, with 949 guilds killing him. Bear in mind, heroic modes have not been unlocked yet, so we have yet to see what's going on here, but regardless of that, there are still some extremely challenging encounters, with both Alakia and Cho'Gall being killed 56 and 52 times respectively. Nefarian is at the moment still in single figures. Now, it might surprise you to know that, according to WoW Progress, which is the website I use for most of these stats, the actual current #1 realm in the world is American, and it goes by the name of Illidan. This is calculated by a point system, and Illidan has an awful lot of very impressive guilds on there, even though they haven't actually killed all of the bosses yet. What we've got guilds like Blood Legion, Raiding Rainbows, Excessive Gaming, and oddly enough, there's not a single Alliance guild in the top 10 on that realm. And last but by no means least, I'm happy to announce that Trollface.jpg over on Anchorage got the realm first kill of Omnitron defense system. Oh yeah. If you're getting into raiding, folks, you might want to check out some of my guides that are available on my channel. Just go and look for the Wipeathon 3000 or scroll through my WoW content in the playlist. And with that, it's time for the mailbox. This one comes in from somebody who does not want to be named, and he says that during my years of playing World of Warcraft, I've been with friends and we have of course enjoyed playing together. However, as Wrath hit the shelves, my gaming experience dropped down a notch and I unsubbed. Coming back after a long time, I noticed my friends had reverted to idiots that had forgotten that even CC and kiting existed. And now when Cataclysm is out, they simply will not learn. As a good friend, I of course try and help them as much as I can, but I actually want to join a proper guild with people that know what to do and that a few wipes doesn't mean it's impossible. So my question is this: where should I draw the line? Should I stay with my friends that simply won't learn how to play as they're supposed to, or give up on them and join a proper guild? This is a tough one that a lot of people have to face, and the way that I view it is simply this. Wasting people's time is one of the biggest insults you can ever give them. So if your friends refuse to learn and want to be carried by you and just ignore what you have to say and can't be bothered to learn basic, simple strategy and the way that they should play, then yes, you should actually abandon them and join a proper guild. At the end of the day, it's your leisure time, and if they are wasting it, then they're being insulting to you and you should go enjoy yourself. And who knows, maybe you leaving might actually give them the jolt they need in order to get back on the horse. Hopefully. I can't promise that, unfortunately. Some people just whine and cry and scream and never actually get any better at the game. But hey, it's worth a shot. This one comes in from Robert, who says, "Hello TB, I'm writing this letter to find out your opinion on the Blood Elf and Draenei starting areas not being updated during the Cataclysm expansion pack. For example, when I ported to Silvermoon to get to Eastern Plaguelands while I was leveling Archaeology, I couldn't mount up on my flying mount and had to ride on my ground mount all the way to the next dig site. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the whole flying thing is sheer laziness, and I'm very annoyed that they didn't do that. I don't expect huge updates to them, bearing in mind that those zones were better than the original starting zones anyway. They're already pretty up to date. Their graphical level was higher, for instance, a lot more detail in the texture work. The questing was better. However, the fact that you can't fly in those areas means that they just didn't bother to update them with Cataclysm, so you probably got some false scenery there and areas you can't fly over that are blatantly unfinished. I do feel that they should allow flying in those areas, and indeed, if they can possibly avoid it, eliminate the need to have those instance portals to actually get you to and from the area. There's a reason for them being there, folks, that to stop people that don't have Burning Crusade actually getting in there, but really, do you really have to restrict people from getting access to those places now? Just stop people that don't have TBC rolling a Blood Elf or a Draenei and let them go there at their leisure. Why does it matter, in my opinion? I think we've got past the point where that needs to be a penny pincher. Okay, folks, now to cap off the show, I'm very sorry I forgot to give you the theme for Postcards from Azeroth this week, so I'm going to give it to you today. Now, considering the winner of last week's gave me some sunbeams, I'd like to make an entire contest surrounding the use of the new sunbeam effect. It's very, very shiny, folks. It's very, very pretty. Everybody loves it, and if they don't, well, they should, and they're wrong anyway. So, I would like you to come up with the best possible screenshot involving sunbeams. Now, there will be points for originality and, of course, proper shot composition, so try and make it good, try and make it beautiful, or otherwise funny, and no, just sticking your mount in front of the sun is not enough. So come up with something great and post it over on the Facebook page. Click the F button at the top of my channel page to gain access to that, and just post it in the fan pictures or on the wall there, and I will review them at my leisure. Thank you ever so much, folks, and again, I'm very sorry that this one was delayed. And I'd like to thank the viewer Calcax for coming up with some brand new title cards for me, because yes, my Photoshop efforts were absolutely abysmal. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time.